Hey guys, and welcome to the How To channel. In this video, we are going to talk about DeepAgent Desktop and how to use it. As we can see, we are on the DeepAgent page, which is from Abacus AI. This is a coding agent that uses artificial intelligence. We have a small comparison here among all of the AI agents, and we can see that DeepAgent CLI surpasses Cloud Code and Codex in key indicators. Considering that Cloud had very good results for coding, we can see that this is significantly ahead. So this is actually very good. How we can get started with this? Well, we need to know that it costs $10 per user per month. So knowing this, we will click on Get Started. Once we click Get Started, we'll see the area to enter our information to get our DeepAgent Desktop plan. Here we would enter our card number, expiration date, security code, and country of residence. Once that's done, we'll click Submit to begin with a DeepAgent Desktop. Then we will go to the top right to download it and select our device. In this case, we're on Windows, so we are going to choose the 64-bit user installer. We'll see it downloading in our browser. Once this DeepAgent Desktop program or executable is downloaded, we will see it open and we'll begin the entire download and installation process. We're going to accept the agreements and click Next. Here, we will choose the directory when we want to install it, but we will leave it as is. We will click Next and install DeepAgent Desktop. Once installed, we'll click Finish and of course select the option to run DeepAgent Desktop. We will see that our DeepAgent application is opening directly, and here we'll get a welcome message from DeepAgent. We're going to click on Sign In. Once logging in with our Abacus account, we will first select the theme for our program. We can choose light or dark. In this case, we'll use dark mode. Now we'll have to select our default mode. There's coding mode, which is the most recommended for developers, and the non-coder mode, which is for people who don't know how to code. In non-coder mode, you literally just chat with the AI agent and ask for what you want. Normally, it's recommended to use coding mode because you can also learn and see how each of these things works. But if you want, you can also use the chat mode. We will click to continue, and here we'll have our device right on the desktop. As we can see, it's somewhat similar to other code editing tools. For example, let's open Visual Studio Code here. And we will see that's quite similar. They have a very similar aesthetic. As you can see, it's totally similar. So if you're already familiar with Visual Studio Code, it won't be hard for you to learn DeepAgent Desktop. So let's start. We can see here that we have a few ways to code. We can do it through the CLI or directly through chat mode. And since I mentioned it's similar to Visual Studio Code, let's go ahead and open a project. In this case, I'm going to use this one. I have download, so I just drag and drop it directly. We are going to click here on Trust and trust the authors, and here we have our Angular project. In this case, we are working with Angular, which is a web technology, so here we could directly edit our code. If I go here and choose, for example, the main component here, I can do everything we want. If I press Ctrl-I, we can generate code using different artificial intelligence models such as Sonnet, DeepAgent GPT-4, among others. In this case, for example, let's use the DeepAgent mode. We would write what change we wanted to make in the code. If we want to make a more global change, we will go directly to the artificial intelligence bar here. And what we will do here is put a file or a folder into context. In this case, since we wanted to have the context of the entire application, we are going to select src. because src is what contains all the main code. We will click here, then we will click OK, and what we will ask it here will depend on each of us. We can also choose the artificial intelligence model here. For example, let's leave it with DeepAgent. And here in my case, I'm going to ask it to improve the style of the page. As we can see, it's giving us some recommendations and say that what it's going to do is convert these styles to modern ones with custom CSS variables and an improved typography. As we can see, this will continue to work, and here is updating style CSS. Now, once what we just asked for has been done, as we can see here in our styles.css code, it has just generated all of this. The only thing we have to do here is accept or reject the file. We're going to click accept, and what we have, which in this case was just a comment, has just been replaced by everything else. So now we are going to click on start debugging, and we see that our variable has just been executed. In this case, it's doing directly with ngserve, which is going to open our web page. As we can see, our web page is opening now, and we have a better style, and it's going to work better. Besides that, we will also have several functionalities that we can use through DeepAgent Desktop. We will see that next. For example, what we could do is ask it some basic things like what styles it recommends, what things or what structure we could or should use for. For example, a ticketing system, among other things. And here, this intelligence or this AI agent will give us some recommendation depending on what we ask for. For example, here we are going to ask it to create a snake game application. We'll send it and it will give us the result. In this case, I think it's going to send us to the playground. So we will click here to continue with the chat LLM web, and it will open it. As we can see, it's opening the chat LLM web page and it's giving us the result that we just request. The code is being generated directly here in what is the game, and it has just given us exactly what we want. It says that a snake game has been created with the following features, controls, among the other things. So we just have to click start game, and we will able to control our game with the controls that were just generated. If we want to see the code, we will click on download, and there we'll have the JSX file. If we click here and open it with DeepAgent, we will save our code or our game directly from here. As we can see, here is our game. I'll close this part here and we'll have our game here. We'll have all the programming that was used, which as you saw, was done directly by the DeepAgent, and we'll see that we have all the functionality. Here we'll have comment, and for example, if you want to make a change, I'm just going to select it with my mouse and press Ctrl+I. Here, what we can do is ask it, as I mentioned, we can choose the model, and here we would choose, well, we would write what we want to change. For example, here we are going to tell it to change the snake's color to blue. If I ask for this and send it by pressing enter, we will see that the request will be generated. We will see that it has just been changed, or it's giving us the option to change. We will click to accept here, and we see that our snake's color has now been changed. Next, we ask it to make the file runnable, so it creates an HTML file. We will click on Start Debugging, and we can see the application opening, where we find that the snake's color has changed to blue. And there you have it. This has been a beginner's tutorial on how to use DeepAgent AI. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. We will see you in the next tutorial.